Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mill Creek Park and the J.C. Nichols Fountain. We're here today to show you a program we have starting related to the blue fountains throughout the city. I hope many of you have seen those. The Nichols Fountain behind us. We have 7 more fountains located throughout the city. We have the Meyer Circle Fountain out south on Meyer Boulevard that's been turned blue for the year. We have the West Side Fountain over on the west side off of Southwest Boulevard that's been turned blue. We have the Spirit of Freedom Fountain over off of Benton and Cleveland that's been turned blue. The Concourse Fountain up in the northeast area. The Women's Leadership Fountain in 9th and Paseo. And then north of the river we have 2 fountains. We have the Children's Fountain, number 9 Highway up north, and the Gorman Park Fountain located up at Vivian and North Oak. And they're all blue in celebration of the great season the Kansas City Royals are having, playing, of course, here in Kansas City, Missouri in the World Series. And the City of Fountains is all about fountains. Those are 8 fountains that are turning blue. We have 48 fountains throughout our city. And so a great partnership between the City of Kansas City, Missouri and the City of Fountains Foundation and the Kansas City Royals. My name is Mark McHenry, KC Parks and Recreation. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Kansas City's biggest fan and the Kansas City Royals' biggest fan, our mayor, Mayor Sly James.
Thanks, Mark. Well, thank you, Mark, and thanks for everybody for being here this morning. It's a nice, brisk morning. I think it's going to clear off. We're going to have 70 degrees or so for... Oh, I'm not doing the weather. I'm sorry. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is really an incredibly fun time and an exciting time for Kansas City at this moment. We're known as the City of Fountains for good reason, and what better way to show our pride than to turn our fountains blue for the Royals in the World Series and in the playoffs. But you know, even though we're known as the City of Fountains, I wanted to take this opportunity to say that there's really so many things that Kansas City is known for that we ought to be thankful for. And right now, all eyes on the country and the world are on this city. And when people are looking to see who we truly are, we can always tell them just a little bit more about that. So in addition to having the most beautiful fountains, we celebrate a tremendous spirit, one of entrepreneurism, one devoted to arts and culture. Our scene in the arts and culture world is world-class on so many levels. We have medical research that's second to none, food that everybody likes to eat and everybody knows about. Our music is among some of the best in the country and the world. And of course, our sports teams are generating quite a bit of buzz throughout the country, and it's generated a renewed sense of pride in Kansas City. We basically have a very new attitude, and it's one that's very good for us. We're feeling good about who we are and what we have to offer. We kind of have that swagger that we've earned back and now wear so well. This isn't something that happens overnight. This is something that takes some time. It happens when we take a moment to take stock of all of our wins, both on the field and off. And it happens when we look out for what is best for each other and what is best for our community at large and what is best for our future. And it happens when we're given a national stage to stand on and when we seize that opportunity with grace and humility and with the confidence that we actually belong on this stage in the first place and we actually deserve the recognition we're receiving. So we're having that moment right now. So let's embrace it and celebrate it, and let's make sure that we make it last as long as we possibly can, and make sure that that we embrace that attitude even when the fountains turn back to their natural color, whatever the natural color of water might be. So I want to thank you all for being here today. I want to thank you for supporting Kansas City and for making sure that people know about all the great things that are happening here. Great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor James. The City of Fountains Foundation was established 41 years ago, and that partnership is with KC Parks and Recreation to maintain our fountains, preserve our fountains, and protect our fountains, and in some cases rebuild our fountains. And here this morning, on behalf of the City of Fountains Foundation Board of Directors, Mr. Pat O'Neill.
Thank you, Mark. You know, you all have, if you've been watching television or picking up national newspapers, you've seen our fountains on the cover and on the promos on stations and newspapers all around the country and indeed all around the world. And that's appropriate because these fountains are the symbol of our city. And what a lot of people don't realize is that at Kansas City we have 48 fountains that the Parks Department takes care of, that the city takes care of. And it's the cost of maintaining the fountains is, any developer will tell you, or the people in Rome will tell you, the fountains are a great amenity. They symbolize vitality and life, but they're expensive to maintain. So this year we launched a Wish Upon a Fountains campaign, actually a year ago in June. And our ambition was to raise approximately $2.5 million to take care of the needs of our fountains beyond the day-to-day maintenance, which the Parks Department does a really good job of. But we have nine fountains that were on our endangered list of whether either they just needed an extreme makeover, they needed plumbing, replumbed, they needed to be rewired. A lot of significant repairs and improvements needed to be made, to the point where a couple of our fountains were inoperable, including the one across the street, the Seville Light Fountain, which is an iconic fountain in its own right, as well as fountains like the fountains that are on the verge because of age and weather and a repeated cracking and changing in the weather and whatnot, including the Half Fountain in front of Swope Park, which is one of our oldest fountains, named after one of the men that was most influential in creating our fountain system. And the West Side Fountain is another that is, the tile is coming loose. It's a very expensive fountain to maintain and needs a lot of work. So I give a lot of credit to our Parks Department for being creative. We have at this point raised about more than half of our original goal of $2.5 million. We're somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.7. We've added the firefighters fountain to our list, so our goal is now a little bit higher, but we're getting there. The community stepped up in big ways. Corporations have stepped up to help adopt some of our fountains that need renovations, and individuals have contributed. Hundreds of individuals have contributed. So this is another creative way for us to showcase our city, to give people a good memory, and also to raise another few dollars for our effort, Wish Upon a Fountain. But I want to thank you here for being here today and for helping us spread that word. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pat. There's a gentleman with us this morning. His name is Wayman Hoffines, and Wayman is over here. And Wayman is a chemist, and chemists work up formulas and laboratory kind of work stuff. And what Wayman did is he created a special blue dye for our fountains, and it's royal blue. And he's been proudly displaying that formula on those 8 fountains I mentioned earlier. And right behind us is the J.C. Nichols fountain, which has that special Royals blue dye in it right now. So we're going to go out, walk back here, we're going to pull some of that water out, and you, as residents of Kansas City, Missouri, can do 3 things. One is you can purchase a bottle of that dye, and the way you do that is you go over to a store here in the plaza. It's located at 4750 Broadway. It's the Plaza Customer Service, and you can purchase a bottle of that for $5. It'll help support the Friends of the Fountains campaign that Pat mentioned to you earlier. And of course, it's obviously a nice commemorative item for the celebration of the Royals. And one thing I've been told is non-potable, which I think means you're not supposed to drink it. So don't drink it. Just enjoy it and appreciate it for what it's worth. So when I recognize Wayne, I want to recognize Pat McNamara, who operates the fountains for us here in Kansas City. He's our maintenance guy. Make sure everything works okay as far as the fountains are concerned. So with that, we're going to go back and collect some of the official dye water. And please enjoy your fountains. And please enjoy Kansas City. And go Royals.
All right, we got it. Light blue. Yeah, all right. Blue water.